PlayStation 3 is meant to be the companion device in your living room, flexible enough to sustain many years of technological advancements.
What's the best thing about the PS3 in 2020? Is it the amazing lineup of games and the readily available... No, it's how cheap every game is. Needing something to chill with after Christmas destroyed my wallet, I decided to play Resistance: Fall of Man, a launch game for the system. I wanted a new series to start a retrospective on, and it seemed like a good pick. A launch title. Games in the series are readily available for like $1 each. Resistance launched as the primo game to have from the launch titles lineup. GameSpot gave it a great review, IGN gave it a great review, with those flattering ratings, and being developed by Insomniac, a very respected developer for Sony. It seemed like a good choice to pick if you were their launch day. And it was, but it definitely is less flattering now than it was then, and not because of the aging, thing, which frankly is a bullshit phrase in my opinion. I think people were just excited to see a new console and happy there was a game that was pretty much good at launch, and they rolled with it. Resistance has plenty of flaws, which are very much issues of the time it was released. But hey, let's get to it properly. Resistance succeeds mostly due to its compelling gameplay. Truly, Insomniac made a great feeling shooter here. Everything is responsive. The AI is smart, and even your teammates feel real, and not just some hastily thrown together code to make it seem like at least someone is on your side. The weapon variety is great, and you'll see yourself switching between each, especially near the end of the game, where it's almost required if you don't want to die. Speaking of, Resistance isn't an easy game. Considering the easing of difficulty in the present day, it's quite cool that Resistance doesn't want to hold your hand. It will send you back to checkpoints if you don't learn how to play. If you sit there and don't move, you are going to die. If you don't vary your item use your grenades, pick up health, you are going to die. It makes you strategize, and that is a great aspect to the gameplay. Outside of gameplay, however, is where everything just becomes pretty mundane to me. Resistance was released at a time where FPSs were quite easily the most popular genre, and a key feature of shooters at the time was a brown, smudgy look with very little color variation. Resistance plays that note to a T, the browniest of browns, the most middle-of-the-road kind of story. The fact that the enemies are aliens doesn't really make it stand out. Neither does the alternate timeline story we're going with. Soundtrack is very similar to others of the time. It's just that there isn't much that differentiates this game from the other shooters of the time, bar the fact that the AI and the gameplay is really, really good. To conclude, Resistance relies heavily on its gameplay, and it does succeed. But if Resistance had a more striking storyline, an original soundtrack, and a more vibrant, interesting color palette, Resistance could have been a classic we're all talking about to this day. But as it stands, the original Resistance is just a fun game. Check it out.